This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Holzman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. On a Monday, we're going to recap everything Oaklawn Park and also talk a little bit about the NFL. Papa Dude, how we doing today?
Fantastic. How are you doing?
Great. I was very... Sometimes I was frustrated and sometimes I was happy with Oaklawn over the weekend. Yeah. It was an interesting week. I hit 9 out of 28 winners on top, which was good for the way the track was. I got 5 singles home in the first 3 days of this meet. 5 singles and hit 0 pick fives. That was very
amazing. That's amazing.
I know.
I think it was Saturday. I hit a lot of winners. I believe it was on Saturday. Not too good yesterday. Average on Friday. So yeah, overall not too bad. But you're right. It was hard to hit the pick fours and that kind of stuff. It was tough. Before we get started, there are a couple of things in college football I would like to mention, just a couple real quick, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Number one, can you believe Navy fired their football coach? Were you shocked?
I didn't even know that.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
They fired him after the game on Saturday.
Wow.
This is a guy who has won a ton of games at Navy. Now, I don't know the ins and outs of anything. I don't know whether there's more behind it or not. I was shocked when I saw that they fired him. You know, when you're at a service academy, it's awfully hard to go in 9-10 games every year. And he, for a while, was winning 8 to 9 to 10 games, you know? Mm-hmm. And I just can't believe that they let him go after that game. I mean, they're not horrible. They've had a decent season. I mean, they play in a very tough league. That's a tough league that they're in. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I'm in shock.
Yeah, I thought maybe I guess you didn't see that because there wasn't much going on in college football. I was just totally stunned too because, like I say, Navy's not playing an independent schedule. I mean, you got to play Cincinnati, Houston, Central Florida, East Carolina, Memphis, SMU. You're a service academy playing in a conference like that? That's pretty tough. There's some really good athletes and good teams. I didn't even mention Tulane that won the dadgum conference. So yeah, that's a tough league. So that shocked me. The other thing, I am so upset about Mike Leach. I'm sure you've heard about that. And worried sick about a guy that everyone loves. I am just on Twitter, the number of coaches, assistant coaches, famous coaches have all come out and just said how heartbroken they are because this does not sound good. And I don't know whether you've heard anything. I started to text you today to see if you'd heard anything more than I have about what exactly it is. I'm assuming it's a heart attack. I'm just assuming that.
The news we know is it is a massive heart attack.
We do know that? Okay, I've not seen that.
Most people believe it's only a matter of time. That's close to the Mississippi State football program. So
it's awful.
That this is not going to have a happy ending, unless there is some kind of miracle based on what people close to the program, like with OU, we'd look at like Soonerscoop.com and OUinsider.com, their sites at Mississippi State. They don't want to be insensitive to the family's wishes and things like that, but they have heard, that it's not going to be great news in the next couple of days, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, and there hasn't been any positive news at all. The fact that he was taken to Jackson, Mississippi, is not good because you would think there would be an adequate facility in Starkville. and they're, to send him to Jackson, that's quite a ways away from Starkville. We knew something was wrong with him, or I did. The coughing, when they would interview, he couldn't even. I don't know whether that had anything to do with it or not. They said he was suffering from pneumonia. We heard that too. I'm devastated. I love the guy. I think he's great for college football. There'll never be another one. He was an original. So hopefully the miracle might happen. But doesn't sound good.
It's a sickening situation that's happening there. Just keep him in your thoughts and prayers because it does not sound good. This was kind of Curtis outlines kind of the rumors that were flying. He may have passed away at one point and was revived. I've heard a lot of it. None of this is concrete because they've kept it very, very quiet. I did hear a report today that all his kids, 2 of them are already there, and a couple of them were en route to the hospital. It doesn't sound good. The outcry of support has been pretty amazing, I said on Twitter, but it doesn't sound good for the Pirate. I don't have a good feeling about it.
I don't either.
Just the little check-ins that I've done throughout the day, there's just, like you said, there's no good news that's been come out of this.
No, and Mississippi State issued a statement here a while. I don't know how long ago. I just saw it and there was nothing positive whatsoever. Anybody who is anybody in college football has responded to this, which is amazing.
Yep.
That he evidently had no enemies. It doesn't sound like he had any enemies throughout the coaching world. I mean, I know everybody's going to, say things nice and things, but this is real. This some of the things that have been said are just incredible. So
yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Hopefully we get a miracle. Hopefully we get some good news of any kind. Like I said, this is one of those situations. There has not been any hope ever since this happened. So, like I said, keeping your thoughts and prayers. Hopefully, like I said, we pull a miracle. One of, if not the most, just the biggest character in college football, right?
And we need those kind of guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy was just amazing. He would talk to anybody about anything. And, legendary person.
A lot of great stories coming out the last day and a half, and there'll be a lot more. So, keep Mike Leach in your thoughts tonight. Who knows? Like I said, it's hard for me to, or anybody for that matter, to report anything because, there just hasn't been much official. But we do know massive heart attack, and we do know it's a critical situation, and he is in the hospital. So we'll see. We'll see.
That's not good. But I have a friend, and you know who I'm talking about here in Aurora, that they've had him out at no hope, and he's doing fantastic now. So it's a different situation, but critical. Just they thought they were going to have to make a decision, and now I saw a picture of him the other day. You know who I'm talking about, and he's doing great. So looks like he's on his way to recovery. So miracles can happen. Let's hope.
You never know. You just never know. Yeah. So
it doesn't sound good.
Doesn't sound good. All right, let's get on to some good news here.
Let's get some good news. I'm sorry to dampen everything here.
Let's get on to Oaklawn Park on opening weekend. Well, go ahead. We covered it on Thursday. We got one right. We got a couple wrong here, but gosh, some of these winners of these stakes we have to get to. We will recap it right now. The Advent Stakes on Friday got us going. We got a big upset here. Tyler's Tribe was the heavy favorite and no match. The horse Speed and Fade all the way. Count de Monet, the winner. A nice name for this horse. Comes in 33-20 winner. You watched the race. What were your thoughts of this one?
Well, look at the second place horse.
Mm-hmm.
Paid 33. What is that? 60 to place.
Yep.
So total chaos when the favorite didn't come through, and then the ones underneath that were supposed to be good finished 4th, 5th, and 6th. So and then Too Much Info was dead last.
Yep. Now,
we said this on one of the daily shows when Oaklawn's sloppy, muddy, whatever. It's weird to play anything, but the story that I'm getting out of this is the 5, and the fact that the horse bled out again, right?
No, he had no
but he did.
that, but it's very tough, and we talked about this. It's very tough when you're a bleeder and you come off the Lasix and then you use it again, and it's just tough for them to recover
Okay.
sometimes in a quick amount of time.
Okay.
And I think that's what it was more than anything else.
Came back too soon.
Just came back a little too soon.
Okay.
Also, you've got to look at how the track was playing.
Yeah.
It was not friendly to horses on the rail. It was not friendly to horses on the lead a lot of times in some of these races. And so it was just a combination of a lot of different things.
So the controversy then, I guess I read that wrong. The controversy was they should have held him out a couple of more weeks before they ran him. He didn't have enough.
After the Breeders' Cup they were going to give him, and I cannot remember the specific time, but it was a lot more time than what this was. I think 60 days is what they said, and so they ran him back a little bit quicker than they thought. He probably, and I've heard trainers say this before, the really good ones will trick you into thinking they're ready to roll.
Okay.
The really good ones will work really well. And then you think, well, okay, I said 60 days, but look at him. He's doing great. Yeah. Let's throw him out there. That's probably what happened in this case. Just guessing.
Yeah. And now what they've done is, because of this, and I don't want to knock the trainers because I don't know enough about it, but now we're looking probably 2 months before he runs again.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what they do. You may try to just back off of him completely for a little while.
Yeah. It's just too bad because the horse was running okay, in the beginning, but he wasn't pulling away like he usually does,
Mm-hmm.
But, for the first part of the race, it looked like he was going to be okay. And then he just didn't have enough gas in the tank to hold off the other. He still finished third, which I guess is not a bad accomplishment.
I thought he did okay. He kind of tried to hang in there a little bit. Didn't really ask him until he got past. Maybe he could have got it a little bit closer or something like that. I mean, he never was going to win, but yeah, end of the day, it was kind of disappointing. Yeah. And yeah, like Dennis says, they might try to wait to Prairie Meadows, get him back 100%. You might skip the next round or two and kind of get him back in April and get him going again. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what they'll do. Tim Martin is the type, man. He just kind of runs them every couple of weeks.
He does run them. He does.
It's a different situation. We'll see. As far as the winner, I'm telling you, this horse really galloped away from all of them here. Do we have a decent runner here for this upcoming 3-year-old series at Oaklawn with Count de Monet?
Yeah, sure look like it. Mm-hmm. And with these dadgum 2-year-olds, you just don't know. If they can come out of nowhere. The connections, I don't know. Do you look at that a little bit? Tom Swearingen's another hard-knocking trainer, doesn't usually have a superstar. I don't know. Total upset. We'll know here, though, the next race of that calendar, whatever the next one is, that's logical for the horse, we're going to see. So,
interesting enough, horses coming from Indianapolis ran very well opening weekend, and this was one of them. You look here, I mean, and this is their Equibase speed figures, which you could take those for what they are, but improvement with every race, and that's good to see. 3 for 3, that's obviously good to see. I think this is a one-turn type by the pedigree, but you never know. He's probably earned enough to go to the Smarty Jones next. So
yeah, I think that's exactly what they'll point this horse to, and give the horse a shot. You got to give the horse a shot. It's undefeated.
Yep.
Logical progression, maiden special weight, allowance, win a stakes. You got to keep.
It's funny how horse racing works. Tom Swearingen, who is kind of like the Tim Martins of the world. Yeah. He enters one, and we're talking about, it'd be great to see Tim Martin win a race like this, and it's Swearingen that gets it done. You just never know in this game.
You just don't. And I don't think any of us even looked at this horse, did we?
I think Dennis mentioned, I don't know if Dennis was on the show, but I know Dennis liked the horse a little bit. I had the horse in in the bottom of like a super. I thought the horse could get up there and maybe help the payout, but no, as far as on top, this was not one that I liked in this race.
And I think if this horse had ran at Churchill, Keeneland, something like that, we'd have looked at it. But when we saw, where the horse had run, and then you look at the connections and you go, hadn't proven anything. So that's the way horse racing is, especially with 2-year-olds, especially at this point in the season. It's hit and miss.
Yeah, Horseshoe Indianapolis, not the greatest tracks of the worlds, but it's not bad, and it is producing some pretty good ones, including a Brad Cox runner who beat Arabian Lion at Keeneland on Breeders' Cup weekend. So, yeah, I mean, they had success at Oaklawn. For me, their figures were a little low, but I'm starting to think those Horseshoe Indianapolis figures aren't quite accurate. I don't know. They're running better those next time out. And it's also their 2-year-olds, and they're, improving with each race. And there's part of that as well. But I don't know. It's interesting that you see that trend now a couple of times. All right, let's move on to Saturday, race 7, the Ring the Bell Stakes. Pretty much had this one circled. Flash of Mischief. He flashed a lot of talent in this one.
He did. Star of the weekend, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. Just with the ease that he won, and I mean, you kind of picked him up on the turn, and it's like, oh, they're not going to hold that one off. He did kind of get that trip that won a lot of the races at Oaklawn, come out a little bit wide and just close down the lane there. But I just think he was simply better than these horses in this race.
I think he was the best horse of the weekend at Oaklawn. I think his race was the most impressive, and we got it. We nailed it. And you said if he could repeat the race he ran at Remington, David Vance, he was the one to beat. And that's what happened. Kavad ran pretty good and chat a lot. So we hit this one. We pretty much were on this one.
Yeah.
And so that was good. And while we're mentioning it here, let's look at these 3 jockeys that were involved in the top 3 here. What a weekend for these guys.
Yeah.
Christian Torres, 7 wins out of 20 starts. In 18 or 28 races. He won 7 of them.
Yep.
I don't know that I've seen anybody win that many on an opening weekend at Oaklawn. I don't recall it. I mean, that's pretty good. And has he ran at Oaklawn much? I don't think so.
Yeah, he's one of the newer jockeys.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he had a great first
week. Where has he been running, Aaron? Where's he out of usually?
He's been a little bit everywhere, this guy. Okay. He definitely is a guy that's an up-and-comer that is going to be somebody to kind of take a look at. Same with Arrieta. I know you're going to mention him next.
Yeah. I mean, he's ran well. I believe it. He's usually pretty good at Remington.
Yeah.
And, 4 firsts, 4 seconds, 4 thirds, hit the board 12 times out of 19 starts. That's the way you make money as a jockey in horse racing. The other guy is, I see Castillo. He was okay. The other one, and we'll just mention him right quick, is Rafael Bejarano, who had 5 wins, 2 seconds, and 4 thirds. So he hit the board 11 times out of 18 starts. So these were the star jockeys of the weekend at Oaklawn. It'll be interesting to see how they continue to roll.
It really is something that, Bejarano is a guy that, I mean, a good jockey, but I don't think anybody really thought that was going to happen. And,
right.
Just totally.
I mean, he's run there a little bit, hadn't he? He runs a little.
Oh yeah, he's been around. He's been around, and he certainly is a guy to keep an eye on. I mean, it's pretty impressive to see what Bejarano was able to do, and Ron Moquette on the trainer side of things did a really nice job.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah. Curtis, yes, Torres has been riding like a madman at Remington Park, but why I said he's kind of been everywhere. He's been at Louisiana, he's been at Del Mar, he's been at Lone Star. He kind of has been all over the place this year. But at Remington, he has done really, really well.
Yeah. So to mention the trainers real quick, if you want to go to that now.
Go ahead.
All right. Ron Moquette and Diodoro, 4 wins on the weekend, which is really, really good. Moquette was really strong. Won some maiden races there with some young ones. He looks strong. Moquette points to Oaklawn. This is the meet for him. This is the one. He's an Arkansas guy. I think he's from Fort Smith, and this is what he points to. Diodoro is always solid. Had 4, and I want to mention something because we talked about it on Thursday night remember, you know what I'm going to say? In the allowance race on Sunday, race number 8, we were talking about my sixth sense. Remember when we said, he claimed that horse for 62K. He puts him right back in a 62 allowance, even though the horse had done nothing for the entire year. And we both said he knows what he's doing. I don't recall seeing that horse get to the lead. He usually doesn't. They took him right to the front, and he held them all off and won a huge upset race in the feature. And I just thought there, why didn't I bet that? Because there was a lot of tips there watching Diodoro and knowing how he does. Should have seen that he knew he was going to try something with that horse. So
yeah, and that's what he'll do with a lot of them. Those horses will flash that speed early and go out there, and they won't stop. And that was a huge win. And he upset your horse, who made a big run and just couldn't get to him.
Yeah. The other thing is, that's right. I kept thinking that horse was going to get there.
I did too.
I thought he'd get him, and then the disappointing horse was yours, the 6, that just didn't like to surface or didn't run well. I don't know what it was, but he was very disappointing. The other thing about the trainers that we have to mention, and I don't ever remember this either, opening weekend, Steve Asmussen is shut out, and I don't remember the last time that happened.
That has happened before. He has had meets where he does not start off very good. It definitely not last year, but I think it was 3 years ago. He got off to a horrific start. Not good at all. Just couldn't get anything to run.
Nope.
Wasn't around. Just wasn't around.
No, he had 4. I looked it up today. He had 5 seconds, 4 thirds. So he was, knocking on the door, but 20 starts and no victories at Oaklawn for Asmussen. And we've seen over the years, sometimes he doesn't bring his best to Oaklawn. There's times that he's not as strong, not very often, but every once in a while, he's stronger at the fairgrounds than he is at Oaklawn. But he likes to win trainer titles. He'll probably correct that this weekend and win 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think he'll get it going. The last one, we talk about the Mistletoe Stakes, that was race 9 on Saturday. I would call it a mild upset here. Lovely Ride. That's a horse that, I don't think was a total shock, but like I said, a real shock here. Coach, just didn't like it was I should say the real shock was the length of victory here. This was pretty much not in doubt down the stretch. The 3 really galloped away. Coach was okay. Will Secret okay. But end of the day, Lovely Ride, pretty impressive here. Yeah.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw a lot of races this weekend come swooping around the turn and was on the outside. And that's the key at Oaklawn. When it's wet, you don't get on the rail. You just don't. It's heavy on the rail. You got to get to the middle of the track. Torres got him there, and wow. I guess it's she. Is it he? It's she. She took off. I mean, she left him in not the dust, but the mud. That was really an impressive run.
It was very interesting. A little bit Saturday and Sunday, you would see a horse come up inside that horse on the way outside and win. And I think at times you look and they go, see, no, the outside or the inside's good. But what you got to realize is they were way out on the middle of the track. So even that horse, if he came up, quote unquote, inside, they were still towards the middle of the track. That rail was just completely, you didn't want to be there at all.
And we've seen that over the years at Oaklawn. I guess the moisture kind of tilts towards the rail, I guess. I don't know. But we've seen it time and time again. And that track is so tough to play when it's wet.
Yeah, it is tough to play when it's wet. And like I said, that was a frustrating thing because I got singles home all week. Just for example, this sequence, okay. The 6 I did not have, and I went 4 deep in this race and didn't have it. Singled, Flash of Mischief, winner. Winner's Lion I did have. I did not have Lovely Ride,
right? And
I did not have Mrs. Bean. So I went 2 out of 5 and got a single home in this one. And that's what it was all weekend for me. Up here, the early, I got this single home too. Trying to remember which one it was. Maybe the first. I don't remember now. Oh, no, I do. It was the 6 in race 3. So a 7-2 singled horse
Wow.
wins. It was a Diodoro Christian Torres again. But guess what? I did not have the first race. Did have the second. Single in the third got in. Didn't have the fourth race. And didn't have the fifth race. So 2 out of 5 again with another single. That was my weekend at Oaklawn.
That horse in the fifth race, I thought that horse ran very, very well. Spurrier, of course, I love the name. That's one maybe to watch a little bit. First time starter, ran really well.
First time starter for Ron Moquette. Didn't really have like crazy good works. You see that here. It's not fantastic. Look at the breeding. It's like, yeah, there's not much there. Ran pretty well though. Ran pretty darn well.
Yep. Couldn't catch you.
Let's see if I can pull this up. You see right there, 1 by a length and a quarter. Yeah, I mean, ran really well, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is a horse that could be a new one for Moquette here that makes some noise at Oaklawn.
Yeah, only 5.5 furlongs, so we'll just have to see what he does. He may that just may be a sprinter.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know who this sire is. Okay,
Never heard of
I
it.
think this horse, based on that, should probably like to route. Okay, so that's why I don't know this horse. Tun Wu is the sire. Just 1 start. It came at Los Al.
In its career?
Yeah.
Wow.
This was a Bob Baffert horse, Medaglia d'Oro out of an AP Indy mare. So the breeding on Tun Wu was fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah.
Let's see. They bought this horse for $775,000.
Okay, now that horse must have got hurt.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, hasn't really thrown much of anything just yet. So yeah, it'll be interesting to keep an eye on that one.
Well, the breeding is there. Could be a sleeper. He gets a sleeper every once in a while. We'll have to watch because Moquette knows where to place him. He knows what to do with him. Be interesting to see where he takes his horse next. If he takes it to stakes or he puts it in an allowance. Be interesting to see what he does.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for the Oaklawn recap this weekend, or this week, I should say. We'll be back Thursday to cover a little bit more about Oaklawn. We got a couple of other big stakes races. Well, not big, but sort of big stake races coming up this weekend at Oaklawn. We'll also talk Springboard Mile on Thursday as well.
We may have to go to that.
Yeah, Springboard Mile coming up on Saturday. We're going to see that field drawn Wednesday, and we'll talk about that on Thursday. We'll talk Springboard. We might talk Trapeze, and then we'll talk the Oaklawn Stakes on Saturday.
The Springboard, that would probably go off, about 9? The card,
I don't know what
opens
time
at
they're going to
5.
start that card.
The card starts at 5.
They're going to start that at 5?
Yeah, that's what I read a while ago.
Okay. Well, yeah, it'll go off fairly late, man. Yeah. Probably 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Yep.
Depends on how many races they have. Why did you think they would start it earlier?
I thought they started that at 3, but I think I'm getting it confused, the Oklahoma Derby. And they used to run that on Sunday, the Springboard Mile. Wow. Yeah, looks like 5 o'clock. I'm looking it up on the site now.
Yeah.
It should be a good race. I've heard Echo again is going, and that is the Steve Asmussen runner who was super, super impressive at Saratoga on debut. And Giant Mischief, I've heard, might be going as well, and that's the Brad Cox runner that I talked about that beat Arabian Lion. I don't know for sure, but that is what I've heard is that horse is going. So it could be a pretty good race this season. So we'll see.
Well, we may have to take it in. Who knows?
All right. Let's go to the NFL now. Got it up on the screen, and we'll head over to Thursday, and we'll kind of recap this. We talked about this on the Daily Show, but let's talk about it on this show. Still can't get over it. Baker Mayfield, 98 yards, no timeouts, under 2 minutes, drives down to beat the Raiders, effectively ending the Raiders season.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you could think of to talk about of this? This is unbelievable.
Well, this was just a total collapse, I guess you would say. Just We talked about it on the Daily Show. I think the Raiders thought they had enough points and they just kind of sat on it, messed around. They're sitting there going, oh, God, we're up 16-3. Got a quarterback that's been there, maybe practiced one day with the Rams, I guess two. We got this game, and Mayfield took him down the field, got a couple of breaks like he needed. This was a horrible loss for the Raiders. If they win that game, they're still in the hunt in the playoffs. You got to win that game. You had them beat. The Rams are down and out. You got a quarterback's been there 2 days and hadn't played very well in 2 years, and you give up 14 points in the last 5 minutes, something like that of the game. Yeah, devastating loss.
It's a killer. The Raiders are officially done. The Rams, it's nice for them to actually win a game. But,
they lost 6 in a row or 7.
Yeah, it's just a killer.
It is
for the Rams. Yeah,
yep.
Or for the Raiders. All right, Let's go on. Jets and the Bills. Big win for the Bills here. They keep pace ahead of the Chiefs for that first spot. The Jets, it's a bad loss. They still, they've got a shot at the playoffs for sure, but it's starting to dwindle a little bit for them.
Yeah, it wasn't unexpected that they lost. Not real impressive by the Bills, but you just have to win, and they did. Right now, the Jets are. I don't know who wins the tiebreaker between them and the Chargers, but they're in that last spot for the playoffs. But their schedules, I don't know. I think they're fading. I just don't. I don't think they're going to make it. They've had a good year. They need a couple more wins, and I don't know whether they can get them or not.
Yeah, we're going to find out. They've got a huge game coming up against the Detroit Lions, and it's almost an elimination game in some ways. All right. Bengals 23-10 win, pretty much eliminating the Browns.
Yes.
Not that they had a great chance anyway. Big win for the Bengals. They keep pace with Baltimore, who also got the big win.
I think Cincinnati's playing as well as anybody in the AFC right now. They proved it last week when they beat the Chiefs and turned right around. Thought they might have a letdown. They didn't. Workmanlike effort. Very impressive with this team. Their schedule is difficult. Down the stretch. Let's look at that real quick here. It's very difficult. Let's see. They've got Tampa Bay. They got to go to Tampa. They got to go to New England. They have Buffalo, and they have the Ravens. So, they got tough teams. All the games are tough, but they're playing very well. This Tampa game doesn't look like it's going to be as difficult as we think. Tampa was atrocious yesterday. So, they should get that one. I think they win 3 out of those last 4. I think that's not unrealistic. It may come down to them and the Ravens on the last game of the season.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to. The Cowboys survived a scare here. They nearly lost this game.
Yeah. I'm kicking myself for not taking that as my best bet. Houston plus 17. But how can you take a 11-1 team against a 10-3? That's just too big a risk. But you could kind of feel it happening. Mm-hmm. You knew they weren't going to be ready, and they weren't. And they were fortunate to win, but they did, and that's all that matters in the end. But God, I'm kicking myself for not taking them.
I think the lead of the whole NFL this week, the Lions, they've done it again. They've won again. They've now 6-7. They've put themselves in a position this week in New York. If they can win, they have got a shot. And I mean a legit shot to make the playoffs. They dominated this game.
Hey, this is 5 out of 6 now? Mm-hmm. And the one loss to Buffalo on Thanksgiving when they played great, took them to the wire, could have won. This is a very good football team at the moment. They're hot. Here's the deal. They now sit in 9th in the playoffs, but in 8th place is a fading Seattle team. They're fading. And then you got the Giants and Washington at 7-5-1. Those are, they got to catch one of them. So they got to keep winning. They've got to win this week. They have to. And when you look at their schedule, it's not that difficult. This game that they had this week and they won was the big one for them. That gives them a shot to get in there. And wouldn't that be great? I'm really rooting for them. I'll tell you that.
I listen. I think they're going to make it because I think the Seahawks are done. I think the Giants are done.
I
And
do think the Seahawks are done. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they got the Jets. They got to go to Carolina. So that's 2 tough road games. Not tough, but anytime you're on the road and you're Detroit, it's not easy. And then they got Chicago in Detroit, and they finish in Green Bay. And it wouldn't be much of a imagination to see Green Bay knock them off, and run their season. But those are 4 games they can win, and if they win them all, they're in. They will beat out those other teams, and I don't think they can get any higher than 6th. They're not going to beat out Dallas. But anyway, just talking about them in the playoffs is unbelievable at this point in the season.
I think they're in if they win this week. I think they're going to make it. I think this is a massive game. And I know there are different divisions and this and that, but if you can get to 500,
yes,
it's huge. If you fall down to 6 and 8, then that pressure is really going to mount. But if you can get that thing to 7 and 7,
yeah,
your pressure is a little bit less. So
when you look at Seattle's schedule, they got the Niners this week. It's at home, but I don't think that matters. They got to go to the Chiefs. They're not going to beat the Chiefs. So they're 7 and 6. Let's say they lose both of those. They're 7 and 8. The Lions, if they win out, passes them, no matter what else Seattle does. Yeah. So, I mean, it's there for them, but they got to win this one this week.
I think Seattle's pretty much done.
They look like it.
Jaguars 36, Tennessee 22. This was awful.
Horrible. When we have the Daily Show again Wednesday, I'm going to have to finally say that to Mike Somage, hey, you know what? You're right. Tennessee sucks. I mean, he's been saying it all year. I thought they would win this game. They'd lost 2 in a row. They're at home. I thought they'd win, and they didn't. And listen, they're not going to lose the division, I don't think, because that division is god awful. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. The Jaguars are 2 games behind them, and so that would be the only team that could catch them. I don't think the Jaguars are going to win their last 4. This is a horrible team to win the division. They're just not playing very well right now.
They're bad. This is bad. It's officially gotten bad. You know who's not bad? The Eagles, 48-22. They dominate. Listen, this is the best team in the NFL. I'm ready to say it. I mean, they are dominating teams.
They are. Did you ever think you'd see their offense the way it is?
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And you can't stop them.
Curtis said, hey, if you are defensively, if you're struggling, this is not who you want to play.
No.
It's unbelievable.
It is. They've got weapons all over the field, and they can spread it. Those receivers are so good. And then you got a guy like Hurts who can break a run, get away. You have to commit guys to him on the perimeter. You can't let him outside. It's just like Mahomes. It's what makes Mahomes so dangerous, and Allen and some of those other running quarterbacks. Plus, here's the thing we're all shocked about. Hurts is drilling that ball right into those receivers. I mean, he's throwing the ball perfect.
Yep. He
looks great, and they are just running away with that division, barring an injury, or something unforeseen. They're going to get the number 1 seed. There's no question about it.
Yep.
Very impressive.
I agree. I absolutely agree. I think they are the team to beat right now. I think they are just fantastic, and you just keep watching them, and every week they look better. And I thought when Washington beat them, I thought, okay, this is going to be the start of it. Not at all.
No, they bounced right back. And this game this week between Washington and the Giants is huge. Mm-hmm. It might eliminate the loser. It's possible that could eliminate the loser, depending on what Seattle and the Lions do.
I've kind of buried the Giants. I think they're done.
They're not playing very well. No.
Yeah, I think they're done. Hurts is -115 to be the MVP right now.
Wow. Well, he's got to be. There's no one even close. I would have liked to know what he was the MVP, to be the MVP before the season started. That would have been the bet.
That would have been the bet. Exactly.
100-1.
I don't know, but it had to have been high.
Yeah, the guy's been amazing, and he's playing with such poise and confidence. It's like, I know what I'm doing, and you can't beat me. And that's the way he's playing. And they really look good. They're fun to watch too. They really are.
They are fun to watch. That's the thing. It's just, and I don't know. Like I didn't think they would be just horrible, and I thought they could be like a fringe team maybe to make the playoffs, but it's just unbelievable to watch this. And like, it's kind of like Minnesota. It's like every week I'm like, yeah, they're not that good, and so you want to think that about the Eagles, but it's like you watch them and you're like, no, they're really good actually.
You can't now because, and they're also in the strongest division in the NFL.
Yeah.
You got Dallas at 10-3, and you got the Giants in Washington at 7-5-1. There's not a losing record in the division. So they have, and then they've taken advantage of a soft out of conference schedule, out of division schedule. They've taken advantage of it. That's what you got to do. They're going to be hard to beat.
They are, for sure. All right, Ravens 16-14 over the Steelers. It was a nightmare. I mean, Trubisky interceptions. It was a nightmare.
Well, Pickett got hurt.
Yeah, and when he got hurt, it was over.
It was over.
Yeah,
and the Ravens messed around and made it close. And but
course.
It's a big win for them. To me, them and I hate to say this, but the Chargers, I think, were the big winners of the weekend with Detroit right in there too.
Yeah.
And the 49ers. Those were the four most impressive wins, I think. But this is one Baltimore had to have to keep pace with the Bengals, who are better than they are right now. But Baltimore has the easier schedule. So that was a big win for them. And that's why I think they are one of the big winners of the weekend, because the Steelers were favored to win the game.
Yeah, it was a big win for Baltimore, no doubt. And again, it's a 2-point game, of course, because every game is a 2-point game in Baltimore.
Exactly.
All right, the Chiefs looked like they were running away with this, and it looked like they were going to lose at one point as well. Yeah. Chiefs 34, Broncos 28. I don't really know what to make of the Chiefs. I really don't think they're that good. I think they're going to get beat. They are explosive at times, but at times they just look kind of average to me. A big win, though, on the road, going on the road in the NFL and win. Give them credit for at least they got the job done.
Exactly, and I think they let up.
Yeah.
You get the big lead, you scored 27 on Denver. You think you got it. Well, I would. If I was a player, Denver can't score.
Yeah.
And look at that. Denver scores 28 points, and they've held teams to the least amount of points in the league, right? Or they had up to a week or so ago. And so they scored 28. They finally scored 28. And they give up 34. And that's called losers, and that's what they are.
Mahomes gave them points. I mean, I don't know about this guy. I really don't.
Well, I just think they weren't ready. I don't know. There's times he plays, you can't understand what he's doing.
Him and the Chiefs both are starting to get a reputation of just major inconsistencies. Like, him and the Chiefs both will go along there, and it's like, holy hell! Like, this team is like, they're really good. Like, they are, and then they'll have stretches where it's like they couldn't beat anybody.
No.
So, Russell Wilson trade might be the worst in the history of sports. It's close.
It's right there.
I tell you what, though, if he doesn't get hurt, they may have won the game because the backup Ripien or whatever, he's awful. So
he's terrible. The Chiefs, you hit the nail on the head. They're inconsistent, and I'm like you. Sometimes you say, "Man, who can beat these guys?" And then next quarter, you say, "Golly, they don't look too good now." So still very dangerous. So very dangerous team to play.
If you think about it, this started last year with the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Where they are wildly inconsistent.
Yeah.
Before that, they really had been about the same every week.
That's true.
But and like I said, it's inconsistencies within the game. It's not 1 week they're really bad and 1 week they're really good. It's like, we're good for a minute or a quarter and a half. And then for the next quarter and a half, we fell off a cliff. And it's like it's 27-0, and they're dominating, and Mahomes looks great, and they look like they're unstoppable. And then he throws 2 interceptions.
Exactly.
And then it's like we're up 6 and we still got control, and he throws another one. And it's like I don't get this team.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't get them. I know one thing: if their point spread is 10 points or above, you better not bet them.
They can't cover it. They
No.
cannot cover it. It's
Nope.
unbelievable. I don't know what to think of them. I don't know. Anyway, all right, let's move on. 49ers and the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers are probably going to be the worst team ever to make the playoffs. They are absolutely horrible. They're a horrible team. And the Niners killed them.
Oh, they killed them without a quarterback.
Yep.
And again, we said on the Daily Show, because Tom Brady against Brock Purdy. No. It wasn't Brady against Purdy. It was the 49ers against the Bucs.
Yep.
And the 49ers are so much better than the Bucs. The 49ers are, it's a shame that Garoppolo got hurt, although Purdy's playing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
They're dangerous. They're really playing well going into the playoffs. And right now they're the number 3 seed. They may end up 2. It's possible. They're only a game behind the Vikings for that second spot. No way Tampa's going to catch them. So they're guaranteed 3rd unless they just totally fall off the face of the map, and they're not going to do that. That's just good, solid team. What a defense they have. Man, their defense is good. They're well coached. They're pretty solid. They really are. And, man, they just manhandled the Bucs. And suddenly Atlanta and Carolina are in the playoff hunt.
Even the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah, sort of, but I think they're 2 games behind. I don't know. This division's so bad that you can't count them out. But you brought this up a couple of weeks ago. When you look at Carolina, they got the Steelers at home this week. They got the Lions at home. They go to Tampa, and they go to New Orleans. It's there for them. If they win 3 of those, I think they make it.
This was supposed to be one of their hardest games against Seattle. We'll go to that next. They beat Seattle. They went up there and beat them.
They did. They scored 30 points.
Yeah.
They couldn't score 30 points in 3 games back, 5 or 6 games ago. So they've got a real shot. I think 8 and 9 will win it. I do. I just don't think Brady's got anything to work with on that team. I just don't think there's anybody. They throw the touchdown pass to tie the game at 7. I don't know if you saw that or not. And they're holding, and they called it back. Anytime they do anything good, something bad happens. The Falcons are at New Orleans, at Baltimore. They have Arizona, and then they finish up at home against Tampa Bay. Okay, huge game this week. But the Falcons can't win a game they're supposed to, or they have to. So, this is ridiculous. Here you got 6 and 7 and 2 5 and 8 fighting for the playoffs. Unbelievable.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
All right, final game. Chargers 23, Dolphins 17. I thought the Dolphins were just atrocious in this game. Just pathetic in this game.
Yes.
And the Chargers, it kind of felt like the Chargers should have won like 41-10 in typical fashion as 23-17.
Yeah, I had to eke it out. Yeah. Dominated the game. One point there in the third quarter, I think Tua was 3 of 17 for 25 yards or something into that effect.
Yeah, just awful.
I don't know what was wrong with them. What is wrong with them? They had been playing great and they got beaten San Francisco. That's no disgrace. And then to go out and not have any more offense than that, that's just that's a red flag for the Dolphins, who suddenly now have fallen all the way to 6th in the playoff picture behind Baltimore. That's the first wild card at the moment. So, they're promising season. It's not over yet, but it's they need a win to bounce out. Now they have been on the West Coast for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's hard for the team like the Dolphins to go out there. So they need to get home and see if they can get things straightened out.
See if the Chargers can get things straightened out for
Oh,
more than
well.
1 week here. Let's look at the playoff picture just very quickly here. The Chargers are now in at 7-6. We'll see what happens with the Patriots. We'll see if they can win tonight and also throw their hat into the 7-6.
Yeah,
It's down to 9 teams now,
Yeah.
right?
Yes, and the Patriots have to win tonight.
Yeah.
I think you bury them if they don't win tonight. If they win, I think they will overtake the Jets. I think they beat the Jets, haven't they?
They beat
Twice.
them twice, so then it would just be down between who's going to outfinish the Chargers and the Patriots. There.
And what you got then is you got a Chargers team that's twice as good as the Patriots talent-wise. But would you pick the Chargers over the Patriots if you had to? I wouldn't. So
No.
But the Patriots schedule is murder. So
yeah, I think New England better win tonight.
They have to. They're done if they don't.
Yeah. On the other side of it, we're kind of down again. It's down to 9 teams. I think you can count all these teams out. Now, these teams here, Carolina and Atlanta, still have a shot to get to that Tampa Bay team. But as far as the wild card goes, and this is the thing, and it's a big if Detroit can win, gets them to 7-7, and if the Giants lose, which we're assuming they're going to, it's just a half game they got to make up, basically. I think Seattle's going to drop. So there you can see the path for the Lions to get in is there.
Yeah. This game this week between the Giants and the Commanders is huge. I think the winner's going to get there. I do. I think the loser is in big jeopardy. And it's a shame that either Tampa, Atlanta, Carolina, or if you want to throw New Orleans in there too, is going to get the 4th seed, and they're probably going to have a losing record.
Mm-hmm.
But if I was Dallas, I'd love where I'm sitting. If I can't win the division, give me that first wild card where I get to go play one of those teams. Yeah. If I got to go on the road, that's where I want to go.
Luke chimes in and says he is the owner of Coach, the horse. And Luke, we did talk about Oaklawn for the first 30 minutes of the show. We talked about Coach for a little bit. So that's really very cool. Let us know how you think she ran. You know, good second there at Oaklawn, and had some big races. I know last year that horse won. So pretty cool. And thanks for joining us. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Luke, that's really cool. To know an owner or talk to an owner is always good. I'm glad you're listening.
Yep, very cool. And like I said, we did talk about Oaklawn first 30 minutes of the show, and we'll talk about Oaklawn on this show for the first 30 minutes, pretty much every time now through the end of the meet. So I'm sure we'll talk about Coach again down the road.
Yeah, keep us informed on that. We like to know what's going on with horses.
Yep.
From somebody who's on the inside. That's really cool.
That's right. All right. That's all we got for today. You got any questions before we wrap this thing up?
I do.
Okay.
Somewhere. Here we go. Nope, that's not them. Here we are. Got a million things I've been writing down here today. All right. Now this one here, it's going to take some thinking because I'm sitting there trying to think what my answers are.
Okay.
I can't really think of anything. All right. Maybe you can come up with some stuff and that will prod me into thinking of something. All right. You get to keep 3 possessions. Now, that's not your wife. That's not your dog. That's material things. 3 possessions. What would they be? 3 things that you have that you value.
That would be like televisions and stuff like that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So my projector screen, like my projector downstairs, would definitely be
okay. One. I like that. I know it's hard.
My computer that I'm on right now would be number 2.
Okay. Sure. I'm going to put the laptop that you graciously bought me as one of my number 1 possessions.
Okay.
I love it.
I don't know. I guess the phone would have to be third. There you go.
The phone is your lifeblood.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I am really having trouble. Look at it, keepsakes, some autographs and stuff. I do have an autograph picture that Bob Stoops autographed personally, and I have a picture of him and me at a softball game. I don't know whether that's something you value like that. I do have a baseball card collection that, I just can't get rid of it. I should, but I guess I'd have to put that in there too. But I can't. Can you think of anything I ought to say? I can't think of.
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I don't have much.
I guess not.
I don't know. I'm sure there's something I'll think of afterwards. But when I saw that question, I thought that's pretty good. But this one's kind of morbid. What do you want your tombstone to say?
Oh, good Lord. I don't give one care about
Well, let
that.
me ask you this. This is even better.
What do you want?
Are you going to have a tombstone? Is that important to you?
No.
See,
I have no idea as the answer.
I come from a different generation, and it is to me. I wanted to. I'm saying this right now to you. Sandy knows. I'm saying it to you, so now you know too. Even if I decide to be cremated, okay, I want a tombstone.
Okay.
What do you want to say?
Knowing I was on this earth at one time. I know it's crazy, but I walk in the cemetery a lot for my walk, and I see these people where they're buried that I know, and I want people to walk around and say, oh, there's old Mike. He was a pretty good guy.
I agree with Michael. We need better questions than this one. Listen, Papa Dude usually brings great questions. This is a terrible one.
Okay. Just say Curtis doesn't think it's terrible there, Michael.
Fast cars, fast women, fast living.
I like that, Curtis. I want mine to say something to the effect, he wasn't perfect, but he tried to be a good guy. Something to that effect. I'll write that all out later. Put it somewhere where you can make sure. Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right. You got a different one? Come on.
Yeah, one more. This one's easy. What movie can you practically quote from the start to the finish?
What movie? Well, I think a lot, honestly.
Okay. Well, throw them out there.
Yeah. Miracle. I could definitely.
Yeah, I'm sure you've watched that a million times.
Major League, the movie Major League was.
I forgot about that one. That's great.
Step Brothers, The Hangover, Wedding Crashers, Old School. I could do Wayne's World. I think. I don't know if I could do Caddyshack, but I do love that movie. So yeah, a ton.
I haven't seen Caddyshack in a long, long time. So, as Sandy said, Elf.
Boogie Nights, Elf, yeah. Boogie Nights, I couldn't recite it. Elf, I couldn't recite, but I do like those movies, both of them.
Jaws for me.
Jaws, I knew you would say that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got to have a bigger boat.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. That's my favorite. And then when they're all talking about when he gets down in the water and all the sharks are circling him, Quint when he was in the service and the boat sunk or whatever, and they're swimming with the sharks and the sharks are eating everybody around. Oh God, that was good. What's another one I can quote? Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump. Yeah.
I know. I love Forrest Gump, Sandy. Jeremiah Johnson, of course, because I've seen it a million times.
But yeah.
TV show. Can you think of a TV show, a series, whatever?
Oh, that's just it. It's a ton. Here's the deal. I don't love a lot of stuff, but when I like something, I usually really like it. Like The Office, I know what's coming on all those.
Oh yeah, classic.
Seinfeld, I know what's coming on all those. South Park. Right. I can tell you any line on South Park.
There's two TV shows that I can tell in. Well, Andy Griffith, I can tell in 10 seconds what the episode is. 10 seconds, and I know what the episode is.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, I haven't seen those quite as much, but I've seen them a bunch. Probably a minute, and then I'll know what's going on. And I can tell you what episode it is. But Andy Griffith, 10 seconds, and I know.
Yeah. Guilty pleasure, Revenge of the Nerds. Yeah, I know it front to back. That's really good. Really, really, really good. Curb Your Enthusiasm. I know you loved that show.
I love that show. Would love to watch that from the first season on through. I don't know what that's on. We need to look that up, Sandy,
Yeah.
because that's classics.
Have you ever watched it? If you probably never watched Let It Ride.
I have. Now, tell me which one that is.
That's the one about the gambler who just he's at the horse track and he keeps parlaying his wins over and over and over.
It's good.
Yeah. What'd you think of it?
I loved it. I can't quote it, but
right, I can't quote it either, but it's a good movie.
Yeah. What's the movie? It's about horse racing. I've seen it once. I really liked it. It a little girl takes care of a horse. It looks like it was in a fire, I think, or something. It was very badly injured. You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe.
I can't think of the name of it.
That
was really a good movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like the movie about Mind That Bird too.
Are you talking about Dreamer or
Dreamer? Yes.
Dreamer. That is a very good movie.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
You know that horse was trained by Don von Hemel, right?
Yes. Yeah. I do.
Racing Stripes. What is your favorite horse racing movie? Be a good one. It's not Racing Stripes.
Secretariat was good.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
The one with the Mind That Bird, 50-1 or whatever it was.
I can't.
I thought that was pretty good.
I can't.
I'm thinking. Is there another one I'm leaving out? Seems like there's another one.
I can't do the Mind That Bird one. I know too much about.
Well, yeah, but I thought it was kind of funny. Is there any others? I never watched Seabiscuit because I was too old. I mean, that's way back. I didn't care about that. But
yeah.
Is there any others?
Not really. No.
The series that was on that you and I got into so much, I can't remember the name of that either, but those guys gambling at the track, that was fantastic.
Oh, I loved Luck. Yes. That was my favorite horse racing thing for sure.
You remember those three guys?
Yes, I loved it.
And how they did that jig and danced around when they hit that big one that day. I think they made $23,000 on a pick 5, and the one guy was a genius, and the other two were just old hard knockers at the track. You know, it was great. Was that the one? No, the one with Mike Smith and Chantel.
I think that was just called Jockeys, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was good too.
I loved it. Yeah. But that was like reality TV. Luck was like an actual TV show.
Yeah, it was good.
As far as actors and stuff. Luck had some big time names.
It did.
That was really good. I was sad when they canceled that. That was good.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, it was good. It was real gritty.
Yep.
You know, it was actual what it would be like at the track, and it was.
Yep.
I mean, we've seen those guys at the track. We've seen them. We know what they are. I mean, I guess we're one of them. So.
Yeah, that's why I loved it. You could relate with a lot of the characters in there. If you've been around the horsemen or the jockeys, that's they really did a good job.
I wonder if that's on. I wonder if that's on anywhere.
I bet you could find it somewhere.
I bet you could too.
I love Jockeys. I did. I know a lot of people in racing didn't like it. I loved Jockeys.
I thought it was really good.
I thought it was great. I thought it was funny. Oh man.
Yeah. Now that part. Yeah, Chantel. Yeah. John Court was on that.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Was Nakatani on that?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Johnny Boy. John Court. Man, John and Crystal. Not anymore, but
well, it kind of revived John Court's career a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. People really liked John after that. And John is just a wonderful guy. He really is. Just a great guy. And people kind of maybe not forgot about him, but kind of forgot that, oh yeah, John Court's pretty good. And so yeah, it was great. It was a great show. Yeah.
Pretty cool stuff. That's all.
Well, that's it. That's all we got. Unless you got something else.
I don't. That's it for tonight. You told me we're going to be a little short tonight. So that's why we are.
Hey, I got one. Do you like Unsolved Mysteries? The show Unsolved Mysteries?
No. Well, I don't know that I don't like it. I've never seen it.
Netflix has kind of relaunched the old Unsolved Mysteries.
Man, okay.
Those are good.
All right.
Get you thinking.
Maybe we'll tune one in tonight and see how long I can stay awake.
There you go. All right. Well, speaking of trying to stay awake, the Blues have started, and probably have to turn that off here pretty quick because it'll be.
Oh, I was so mad yesterday. I just about threw up.
I know that was. They did play better at least.
They did. I agree.
So, yeah, we're gonna see, man. These Arabian horses out there for Baffert, Arabian Knight, Arabian Lion. See what happens with these horses. They look pretty darn good. So we'll see. Yeah. Oh, Phil, hilarious. He said the theme creeped me out as a kid. We have to fast forward through the theme because it creeps Heather out.
Is that the Unsolved Mysteries theme?
Yes, she's scared of it.
Okay, and that's on Netflix?
Yeah.
Is it called Unsolved Mysteries?
Yes, it's called Unsolved Mysteries. She's scared
Okay.
of it though.
I think we'll need something to watch, so we'll get that on.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's afraid of it, but we'll probably watch one tonight. Who knows? All right, we're gonna get out here, guys. We'll be back on Thursday. We will be back, and we will be doing Oaklawn. We'll be doing a little Remington Park, and we'll also be doing NFL picks. And also on Thursday, blinkers off. It is the Fantasy League draft. So that's coming up 7:00 Central Time. The Fantasy League draft, and Michael mentioned Arabian Lion. I will go ahead and spoil it. The number one pick belongs to me as of right now. Arabian Knight will be the number one pick in the draft unless something changes. So we'll see. All right, guys.
Later.
We'll see you Thursday for more content. See you guys.
This is Due to Bet Sports. Due to Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Due to Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Due to Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.